Do you think you'll still be streaming 10 years from now? I honestly hope that I still will be, yeah. But I don't know. I guess partially because of my own insecurities, I kind of hope that I am. Because what will I have transitioned to if not this? But it's quite possible that people will just not want to listen to me after a while. I mean, I don't know. They'll just run out of things to talk about. Or maybe my life will just shift in a completely different direction. I can't predict what will happen. But as of this point, I mean, I'm still very much dedicated to this being what I want to do for now. I still find it very gratifying, and I really love the interaction that we get to have. Yeah, Disco Crystal, that's the one. How do you deal with burnout? I've been streaming for quite a while, and due to issues with my current setup, my drive to stream has been low, to say the least. I think it helps a lot to have games that you love to play, that you can kind of fall back on. I think part of it, too, is just, like, being able to push through that. I know that's, like, a total BS way to say it, but, like, some days maybe you don't feel up to it in a way, and then some days you feel like you can kind of make it work if you just have the right conversation topic. I think, honestly, today might be one of those days. My head is very foggy, and, I guess I'm feeling a little sleepy all of a sudden, which is maybe not the best thing to admit, but since we're in full transparency mode here, you know, it's, we're in topics that I feel happy to discuss with people, and I like doing that, so in that respect, you just kind of go. But not every day is going to be a great day. I mean, that's absolutely true. And I think that's the case in absolutely anything you do. There's days when you feel super on, there's days when you feel super off. They're both going to happen, and it's just about how you handle bouncing back from them. And as of evidenced by some of the negativity that I've had early in this very stream, I'm not the best at handling bouncing back from all of those situations. But what is important is to just keep doing something. And I think that's the one thing that I learned from being in the absolute depths of the worst of my depression was I channeled all of that bad energy into at least do something. And try to make it something positive if possible that is not necessarily related to what you're upset about. And that's a lot of why I was able to do indie impressions. I was like, well, I want to think about better escapist kind of things that are not the world that I'm in right now. Let's talk about stuff I love, game design, and things like that. Discover new people that are doing cool things with art. And it's like I've gone off to a whole different world that's a happier place, and I can talk for that about that for a while. How do you feel about turtles? I like turtles. They're alright. They smell kind of bad, but I like them, generally. One of the nice things about streaming/YouTube prior to making a schedule, if you don't feel like doing front-of-house work, there's a ton of back-house work to do, a ton of it. So if you do back-of-house stuff when you're feeling like not playing a game or something, not being social, exactly, yeah. And if you have enough ways, you can make your schedule work any way you want. You just gotta have enough outlets to be able to shift between all of them. I mean, I generally am very hesitant about having schedules because I'm not ever sure if that time is going to be a good time when I'm going to feel like I'm able to do what I want to do comfortably. But, you know, I've been doing the NLSS now for a couple of years. There's been a bunch of days where I'm like, I can't stream today. And after I start for a little while, I start to feel better, actually, a lot of the time. So there is that, too. Occasionally you just feel like it's the worst thing, and then you do it, and it brings you right back. And doing the Roundtable podcast, actually less so because there's so many people talking, but there is a little bit of a pressure when I'm doing that to have something useful to contribute to, and if I feel really bad that day for whatever reason, well, I feel like I'm not getting my fair shake of things because I'm not even really me in that case, like my brain is not fully functioning today. I don't know. I think that's a thing that I don't know if everyone even has to deal with, the feeling that, like, you're not even yourself that day. It might be a symptom of migraines, it might be depression, it could be anxiety, it could be a combination of all of them. But yeah, that's certainly a thing that I do feel on occasion, that I'm just like, I don't know if I went live right now that you guys would feel like I am me. And that always bums me out if I have that feeling, but most of the time, I go through with it and everything works out fine. Do Do you have a sound card? Yeah, actually, if you look in the specs below the video window, I've got all of that listed out. I have to say, though, honestly, my sound card might have just caused me more trouble than good. I ended up having a lot of issues with drivers when I started it out, but, you know, everything's in sort of a nice holding pattern right now until the next thing breaks, and then I'm going to have to figure it all out. Am I going to do more Lost runs? Absolutely. If I wasn't so sleepy feeling, I might actually do some tonight. I have the strangest sleep schedule. Some days I go to bed at, like, 12 o'clock now, and other days I go to bed at, like, 5 o'clock, and sometimes those days are back-to-back. It's very hard to predict. What happened with the Lost so close? Well, Ryan came home, and then we did the NLSS, and I just didn't have as much free time to do my own streams. I mean, if I didn't have YouTube, or if I didn't have the NLSS, if either one of those things were happening, I'd be streaming solo a lot more. But I still think I do okay. I mean, I think I've been doing better in the last couple weeks, but ideally I'd want to stream, like, every day. And it's just not necessarily possible. Have you played Loco Roco and or Patapon? I love Loco Roco a lot, actually, and I have played Patapon, but I didn't like it as much as Loco Roco. What I was really sad about was the PS3 Loco Roco game that came out that was like a PSN thing. It was like one big puzzle instead of a bunch of levels. I was really hoping that they would make like a fully fledged console version of Loco Roco, and it didn't happen. Excuse me. Maybe that would be actually really fun if I could like get an emulated version of that somehow. I still have my Loco Roco UMD for my PSP, but I don't really know of a way to output my PSP to my computer, so. I'm so happy, just got my first job interview coming up on Wednesday. Congrats! Just Gunner, I wish you luck with it. Still have not run into this item yet, huh? I'm gonna start throwing stuff away. I really don't need any more of this. I don't even really need money all that badly anymore. Right now, I value item slots more than anything. I'll throw away 12 golden keys. Who cares? Throw away some of these. Nah, that's probably good enough. What'll be really frustrating is if this thing did actually drop somewhere and I just don't even see it and then walk away. Feels like a possible thing that I could do. Again, all I'm looking for here is the little skulls. I'm just getting so few of those to show up. I mean, I'm good on ectoplasm for like the rest of my life. If we could just trade like 200 ectoplasm for one of this item, that would be fantastic. And I think if I get the Nazar, this is the last item I needed for the Ankh Shield. Actually, pretty surprised it's taking this long, because I've had the Ankh Shield before. I don't remember it being this difficult. And I've gotten, what, 4 out of the 5 biome keys now. The only one I think I'm missing is the corruption one. Yeah, I know it's easier to farm hopping worlds. Well, given that it's taken this long now, maybe I'm starting to consider it. I know I said I wasn't gonna earlier in the stream, but yeah, maybe I am. I would like to actually make some progress soon. It wouldn't even really be very difficult for me to just switch worlds and go start a new one. Go kill Skeletron in 5 seconds and see about it. Oh man, we're getting a bear pile. Bear, you might be happy to know, people were talking or throwing shade at you before, and I was defending you because you're a good man. But thank you very much for the host. Much appreciated, and thank you for the raid. If you guys don't know Bear Taffy, you should. I don't know what's wrong with you if you don't. But now's the time to rectify that problem, whatever that problem is. Go to BAER Taffy on Twitch. Drop his link and go give him a follow. Guy's got a smooth, buttery voice. He's a fantastic Rocket League commentator. He's the guy that puts on a Roundtable podcast. And he does, like, hundreds of other things, too. Preeminent multitasker, that bear. It's pronounced Bertifer. Yep, I like that, actually. The less words or the less sounds you can make in saying his name, or the more it sounds like you've got cotton balls in your mouth, the better it is. I like that we've ultimately distilled his name down to Bertif. BRTF. How'd I get to know Ryan? I've answered this question a lot of times in various venues. I never really mind answering it or anything, but I think I pretty much give the same explanation every time. So what happened was, I used to do Super Meat Boy modding. I made levels, specifically, and this was back when I was just first starting to use YouTube at all. The point of YouTube for me was to make videos of the levels that I had made in the Super Meat Boy dev mode to show off to the rest of the modding community on the forums. So that way I could just give them a link and I'd do a little tour of the level and they could see it, and if they wanted to download it, they would go to the YouTube video and grab it off of my Dropbox or Media Chair or whatever, Mediafire? That's the one. So yeah, I would just use it to create level videos, and at the end of sort of the culmination of my Super Meat Boy modding community days, I made this community chapter called The Passenger, which was fairly well received. I think one of the more popular chapters, if I were to say, not to toot my own horn, but it did get some recognition amongst the community. And Northern Lion covered it on his channel. He did a video of him playing through it, and he said it was simultaneously some of the most frustrating and interesting levels, or artistic levels, I forget what word he used, at the same time. That was the first I had heard of Northern Lion back then. I really didn't know much about YouTube. I didn't know about really people on it or things to watch on it. But my friend Max had clued me into that he had done a video, and this was back when he had about, I think, about 60,000 subscribers, and that's like a huge amount of subscribers, especially back in 2010, 11, somewhere between 2010 and 11, somewhere in that period, I think. And that was kind of the beginning of that happening. Eventually, I said thank you to him for covering it, and it's not like we really talked then or anything, but eventually, after I had started doing my own videos, Kate, his girlfriend at the time, and I had started talking, which led to me eventually talking to him, and then we had played like a few games of Call of Duty together with Malf. I was also listening actively to the Saving Progress podcast and giving them questions at the end of each one of them, so they kind of came to know my name from that. And yeah, so that's where I came to know Josh and Ryan and Malf all at the same time. Could you enlighten us, Raiders, as to what you're doing in Terraria Land? This is going to be uploaded on YouTube. Yes, I should be uploading this on YouTube, and I am looking for this item called the Nazar, which drops from these small skulls, not the big skulls, the small skulls. And it is rather rare, and it's the last item that I need for the Ankh Shield, which is an item that is like a huge conglomeration of a series of other items. And I'm sorry you even had to ask me what I'm doing. I should have probably just explained that to you right off the cuff. Edmund was supposed to put some Nick Leveler or something in SMB DLC. Yes, I had talked to Edmund a few times, and Tommy, actually, for separate reasons, about having that chapter in as one of the Xbox 360 community chapters that they had actually approved and put in. And we'd actually gone back and forth a couple of times with revisions because I had put too many light sources in my level, so I had to remove some things. And then every time he would send me, like, the, this is the version I'm going to put up version, and then there'd be, like, a tile placed somewhere weird, and I'd be like, can you not have the tile? And then, well, it just never ended up happening, unfortunately. Would have been really, like, that would have been a fantastic way to kind of cap off that I had some impact on the world of Super Meat Boy, the fact that I could have had my chapters show up in that, but it's okay. Not everything always works out. The fact that he talked to me about the chapter at all is actually fantastic. How far am I towards the cell phone? I think I'm only missing one piece, actually, which is why I should be doing fishing missions also, but I have not for a minute. I'm really hoping to get this Nazar drop. Alright, see you later, Pokefluffer. Thanks for coming by. If I could just get these guys to spawn a little bit more, it would probably help this quite a bit. But do I care enough to go ahead and make another world just for the express purpose of going to the dungeon to kill skulls? Alright, see you later, most awesome Dan. Hope you enjoyed yourself. Have I gotten a banner yet for killing paladins? I don't think so, right? I feel it's one of the few that I don't actually have. Yeah, Terraria and chill. That's what we're doing. The meme was in my mind when I wrote that. I was being self-aware there, yeah. What prompted that? Someone just said, people watch Mathis. Don't you already have an easy mode world, Nick, that you made for the bone key, or did you just delete it? Oh, I have the world, but... wait, can I do that? Yeah, I never went to hard mode, so why couldn't I? Yeah, I guess you're right. I don't know, I had some kind of excuse in my head that doesn't actually make sense. I love your content, you'll take my subginity here soon. Oh, thank you. Only do it if you want the icons and stuff. Don't feel obligated. I do appreciate it very much. I have no idea what's going on at all, but it's entertaining nonetheless. Basically, all this boils down to is killing a whole bunch of enemies in the hopes of getting one of them to drop a certain item. All of these dudes have random chances of dropping different things, and the one item that I need is only dropped by tiny floating skulls, which I'm not running into very often. So the majority of what I'm doing here is killing other enemies so they don't exist, which causes more enemies to spawn, and then I'm hoping that that enemy is the tiny skull that then will drop the item that I need. So it's actually 2 levels of RNG deep. What happened to your Naruto watching journey? Nothing happened to it. I'm still watching it. I think I'm at, like, episode 150 something. I just don't watch it every night. Sometimes I've got other stuff going on. Sometimes I'm just not in the mood. Usually it's because I'm just not in the mood. Especially now that we're in the, like, ultra melodramatic period of Naruto's existence, where he's, like, endlessly trying to capture and fight and rescue Sasuke. It becomes a little bit wearing to keep watching that show. I love it, but it's also got some weird stuff in it that's, like, kind of boring. But ultimately, I will see it through, and I will watch all the way through Shippuden, because that was part of the whole point, is I wanted to see what the hell happens to these kids when they grow up. I want to see what Konohamaru looks like as an adult, too, because he has a very strangely shaped head, and I want to see how he turns out. Has Nick 100%ed this game? I know nothing of Terraria, but I know he plays a shit ton and can't believe he still doesn't have some items. I have not 100%ed the game, no. The odds of me ever doing it are actually remarkably small, because there are so many items, but I hope to continue on and eventually do it. Dungeon Slime. Have I even gotten... I said this earlier, I forgot to look. Oh yeah, there's the Paladin banner right there. It's pretty cool looking, too. I guess as far as banners go. I think the Paladin hammers are worth more, so I'll take that. What do you put on burgers? Well, I mean, I'm not super picky about my burgers. I know, given the way we talk a lot on the NLSS, it sounds like we all have, like, incredibly, ridiculously intricate food preferences, but as far as I go, I mean, I'm pretty simple. Like, I'm fine with just a normal ketchup, lettuce, onion kind of orientation. But if you want, like, a higher class burger, I'm always down for some, like, Angus, Swiss mushroom, with barbecue sauce, or, like, with some A1 sauce kind of burger. I'm super into mushrooms in general, so, like, having I mean, that really goes in pretty much every element of what I do on YouTube, even. Like mushrooms, except I don't eat psychedelic mushrooms. That's what you're wondering, but yeah, I like mushrooms quite a bit, so I'd have that on my burger. I haven't had a lot of really exotic burgers, to be honest. I mostly keep to the norms. Ketchup on hot dogs, pro or con? Only if there's mustard as well. And again, I've got to be in the right mood for that. It's usually just mustard or ketchup and mustard, but not just ketchup. Nick has the market leader Isaac-related sub-emote rock-tinted. People don't use it as much as I wish they would, unfortunately. Alright, so our traveling merchant is here, and that's making me want to leave because I'm getting bored of walking back and forth across this dungeon floor. Nick has some dope-ass burger taste. So you guys like the mushroom Swiss combo, then. I'll see you later, Pluto. Have a good night. Okay, I'm going to teleport back because I am tired of having a full inventory. Ratio of mustard to ketchup on your hot dog. 60-40 mustard ketchup, I think is about right. I'm not sure this guy even can have anything that I need still, but I like checking him just in case. Yeah, I've got all these items already. And it looks like we've turned up another platinum. Just from farming. Money is not a problem these days when it comes to this game. I'll just sell this 63 ectoplasm for 31 gold. I've got more than enough, why not? Keys have no value, that's too bad. 10 gold there. Bunch of keyblades. Too bad you can't use the keyblade to unlock some secret door somewhere. That would be pretty weird, but neat. Godly keybrand. I don't know if I have the best one there. Armored is 3 defense. That's the one I had already, actually. What are the odds of that? And I think that's all we need to get rid of there. I'm just going to check out the keyblade, see if I have a better one in my chest. I have sharp, so yeah, the one I have here is better. 120. Oh, they have the same damage either way, but this one's just got better stats in general. Wait, what happened? Oh, I guess I just didn't sell that. Did anything happen with Nick and Lynn? He talked about her quite a lot. What happened? Then I left for a while and haven't heard anything about it. I guess it's their business, I'm just curious. So, nothing happened. Me and Lynn are still very happy, and I'm going to visit her next month in Ireland. It's a bit of a trip, but it should be very fun and something different, and I'm looking forward to it a lot. Alright, so let's quick stack everything else. Wait, do I actually not have any of those banners? Tactical Skeleton, Dungeon Slime, and Paladin. You know what? I'll buy that, actually. Probably I don't have those. This one's definitely blue. This one's kind of lavender, but I think we'll let it get away with it. And Paladin banner is... yeah, this one's going in here. It's a different... it's kind of an almost greenish yellow. These are very mustardy, very red-filled yellows. Yeah, whatever. Better post a bunch of pictures. Oh yeah, I should probably not only have pictures, but I'll probably even have some videos. So, even just for my own memory's sake, I like the idea of taking a bunch of videos for that. I mean, how many times am I going to get to go to Ireland in my life? Well, maybe a lot, I don't know, actually. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe I will eventually live there someday. I don't know. Does Ryan really hate Michael Alefox? No, he doesn't hate him at all. They're friends. He just gives him a hard time. That's what friends do. Any plans for playing Prison Architect? I can't say that I did have any plans, no. As far as that being on my list, I would say it's fairly low on my list. I don't think I'm that particularly good at it, or would be that good at it. I've watched Fox play it a bit. Watch your stuff while wading through jungle waters, by piranhas. Your stuff on my favorite kinds of fish, the mudfish. I also care a lot that you're going to grab me one as a pet. Alright, apparently I need to get a mudfish for today's fishing mission. Yeah, and I have a fishing spot set up for that. What list? Oh, my proverbial list in my head. That's not a real thing. Just sort of set up invisible priorities about what I want to play and when. I'm actually trying to decide what I want to do a stream of next. Environmental Space Station Alpha is high on my list, but if you guys have any suggestions of things you'd like to watch, feel free to let me know. I'm always up for suggestions. I was also looking for suggestions for a new horror game to play. I was thinking maybe, what was that one called? Hector? Or that Russian one that looked pretty good. That I don't even want to attempt to say the name of because I'll probably butcher it. Metal Gear? Starbound? You guys really want to watch Metal Gear? I know you say you do, and probably a few of you really do, but I feel like what would happen with Metal Gear is it would start out great, everybody really hyped, and then in about 20 minutes, the realization would hit that I'm not that good at it, and I would actually spend a lot of time dying over and over again. Why did I go to this one? This is like the worst spot I could have gone to. Well, while we're here, you might as well kill Plantera, right? How'd you get the Skeletron pet? I had to kill the Skeleton Guardian. It was pretty easy with a UFO as my ability to move around. Let's see if we can kill Skeletron or Plantera in this tiny little space. The answer is yes, by the way. This might be the dumbest place that I've tried to kill this, actually. Shit. Oh my god, I can't get away from it at all. I'm gonna die to Plantera. Alright. I've actually fought him in similarly small places before. Usually I dodge better than that, but he followed me exactly where I was standing. Oh, did he enrage? Was that why? He probably enraged. That's okay. The hubris, GG. Yeah, it's probably pretty rare that you'll see me die anymore, so that might be, like, the last time that I ever die in this series. Just something to keep in mind, I guess, if you care about that sort of thing. It's actually fine. In the end, I didn't even want to go that way anyway. I was just gonna kill him. That's why preparation is vital, yep. You're outside of the jungle in Crimson. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure if he was not enraged, I wouldn't have had that trouble. I don't even know why I got that far off track. I was supposed to be over here, not over here. Oh yeah, I can see it now on the map. It was very obviously Crimson. I just was not thinking. Hey, first thing. In before a bunny kills him. Oh wow, and you subbed right after I said hi to you. Thank you very much for the resub. 17 months in a row. You can all do rock throws for that resub, since... Well, that's not directed at you, first thing. That's directed at me. Wanted to let you know I really enjoy your Layers of Fear series. You're really fun to watch playing spooky, scary games. I hope so. I really enjoy playing scary games, for a different reason than I think most people do. I think it's cool to take a different angle on them and be able to have a discussion about them in a way that it seems like is just so rare to find. Just to play the game for its own sake, to just play the game, and like actually analyze a little bit of it, instead of flipping out and having a big emotional reaction. I know that's much more marketable, and I know I could probably gain a lot more viewers if I took a different approach, but I would rather not. I was thinking about making a parody video about that one time where I just flip out I'll do the whole exaggerated face for the thumbnail with the like radial mosaic thing going on in the background. I'll do edits in the middle of the video where there's like quick cuts to like scary things, I guess. Oh, here we go. Here's another chance for me to fight Plantera. I feel like we'll probably be able to handle it this time. Yeah, and Rage Plantera is like pissed. This thing, not so pissed. Kind of lethargic, to be honest. Please do. I think it would be funny, actually, just to do that for the sake of, like, not only just the joke, but also... oh, we didn't get it. I was hoping we'd get the axe. But just to show the contrast of, like, how starkly and differently it would look. You know what would be the worst, though, is, like, if I did that for a joke, and then a bunch of people thought it was really funny, and then that video got more views than all my other videos, and then I would feel really, really depressed. And now that I'm talking about it, I feel like that's pretty likely to be what happens. Because the gods of irony preside in the YouTube camp in just such a way that will always make you feel bad about whatever your decision is. Do you flip out internally and cover your fear with analysis? No, not really. I know it's just a video game and it can't actually hurt me. Now, being that as it may, there is still the fact that it is possible for me to get scared of games. It's happened to me several times. And once I get into that mode, I usually stick in that mode for a little while. It's just pretty rare. But actually, Dead Space really messed with my head. Oh, there's the mudfish. We can go. And Doom 3 also really messed me up, too. I don't know why, just certain ones. Like, Layers of Fear is especially not scary because I knew nothing could even kill me in the game. So, like, what did I have to worry about there? There was no fail state. We got a treasure map. What is that? I don't think I know this one. It can be placed. What does the treasure map do, guys? I don't think this is the thing I needed. Is Math is self-aware about his thumbnails, or is it legit bait-style thumbnailing? I think it's both. I remember Nick being freaked out by the UFO in that one Metroidvania. Yeah, no Dallas. I was a little bit spooked by that, actually, to be honest. What is that? He was just talking about an eyeball. It's just a painting. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I knew this is not the one for the pirate invasion. It's a poster. Okay. I was hoping it was something cool and different. Oh, it's large. Alright, well, I've got a room for you. Room with a view. There you go. I finally decorated my house, guys. It's happened. Alright, see you later, Prizerwap. Your name is fun to say, by the way, if that's how I say it. Prizerwap, yeah, that sounds right. I only played Dead Space 2. It was a cool-looking third-person, not particularly scary. Yeah, I haven't played 2, but I only have played 1, and I thought it was pretty creepy. I don't know if I would see it the same way I saw it then, but at the time, I was feeling very skittish, apparently. And I found it very creepy and scary. I don't think I need this. I think I've already got a couple of those. Rash depth meters, don't really need those. Got enough temple keys to last a lifetime. Dead Space is too jump scare filled. And it had those brutally violent kills, too, when you would die in the game. Everything would, like, freaking rip you apart into little pieces for some reason. Like, they needed to show that. I think that was one of the first games that really struck me as having those dramatically overly violent deaths. Yeah, so we've got this already too. Haven't seen an advert yet. You're doing this pro bono now? I just don't bother because the ad revenue on Twitch is basically nothing. I usually run like one set of 3 minutes at the end where everyone leaves and then it doesn't matter anyway. But it's like, I could stream for many hours, run 3 or 4 sets of ads, make like $2, $3. It's like, it's not worth it to me to have people leave every single time. It's also just disruptive. If we run into a period of time where maybe the ad revenue is better, maybe I'll consider it. But it's not pro bono anyway. People are still donating and subscribing on occasion, and that's actually where the majority of the revenue would come from. But you put a little winky face, so, you know, it was probably just tongue-in-cheek anyway. And I'm aware of this. What is your opinion of PT? How do you feel about the Silent Hill series? I really like Silent Hill in general, but I only like a couple of them out of the group. 1 and 2 were the ones that I really enjoyed. 3 I thought was okay, but I didn't ever finish it. And 4, to be honest, I don't even think I hardly got an hour into the game, and I, for some reason, was kind of bored of it. I don't even know why. I mean, it had a lot of the makings of a decent Silent Hill game, but I think it was just like the fractured nature of the way that the world is made up, that you have to keep going through this hole and it takes you to different places. I thought that was kind of weird. Then after that, there were like 5 more Silent Hill games that didn't have numbers. Am I right to say that? Silent Hill Homecoming, Silent Hill Shattered Memories, Silent Hill Origins. That's 3. Silent Hill Downpour. That happened, right? And this is when we went off, like, okay, maybe it's 4 of them. And I've played several of those. I own a copy of Shattered Memories, and I thought it was kind of interesting, but I wish it wasn't a Silent Hill game, because it honestly doesn't really fit as one very well. Did you play Shattered Memories? Yeah, people like it. It's different and weird. Yeah, I have the PS2 version. I played it on Wii, though, so I don't know how to feel about that. I've never opened my PS2 copy. But the reason I played it on Wii is because I loaned it from GameStop back in the day. Homecoming and Downpour are the bad ones. I just forgot if Downpour even actually came out, or if it was, like, about to come out and then they canceled it. I couldn't remember, because it's gotten so little press, it just sort of went away immediately. What do I need to do now? I should probably go into my easy mode world. Oh, and I guess I could use this area too to farm for corruption enemies. Do I have a map here? Yeah, I do. And it looks like I am very near the dungeon? Right, because I was fighting the Dungeon Guardian. That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Everything's making sense all of a sudden. Now, does he summon another Dungeon Guardian if I have already killed one? No. One way to find out. You guys love the real sexpert, don't you? Ah! That explosion just surprised me a lot. Aw, oh, damn it. Okay, so I guess I've got to kill Skeletron. I didn't know if that yup was in regards to what I said or not. Well, it's going to take me all of 5 seconds to kill Skeletron. Goodbye. Killed him and looted him before he even hit the ground. Yeah, death count too. Okay, you're right. That wasn't the last time. What's your go-to beer? Usually Blue Moon. I don't drink a lot of beer, really, but that is a beer that I like. Sam Adams is also fine. I don't have a very developed beer palate, to be honest, so I don't know if those are both kind of like newbie beers or something, but yeah, that's what I like. Alright, so now we need heads to appear. I would like a large open area in the dungeon. I don't think this is even mapped, so I don't even know where this would be. You know, this is probably as good a place as anywhere. Oh, actually, there was a freaking blue candle right there. I didn't even notice it. And let's pop a battle potion as well. There we go. We lit up the place. Now it's a little bit more like a disco. Just the way I like it. Hello, wizard. I'll rescue you here just because I can. Oh, hello, engineer. I'll rescue you here just because I can. Pretty funny that they both spawned right next to each other. Oh, and there's the corruption chest, the one that I don't have. The key for, I mean. You know, I discovered this the other day, or maybe not just the other day, but like I only just said it out loud just the other day that like I personally have a very poor palate when it comes to bitter flavors. Some people seem to have a much more higher tolerance for that kind of thing, but for me, bitter flavors are like the worst. Like I avoid them in pretty much all ways. I mean, I'm not huge on spicy foods either. I only eat some. But I do dabble in spicy foods. Bitter foods, though, I would rather just not have them at all. Like, ever. And beer is a category where spicy, or not spicy, bitter comes up pretty regularly. I've had some dark beers. I didn't hate all of them, to be honest, but I don't think I would choose to drink them regularly either. I think it's just sort of like, oh, alright, that's neat. I know what that tastes like now. But, yeah, that's just my take on things. And that's not just beer, like any bitter flavor either. Like, I would rather not have it. Bitter types of greens and such, or, you know, expertly made culinary delights that have very hoity-toity bitter things to them. Not really a fan of. Trying to decide if I have a good sense of taste or if I have a bad sense of taste. I don't really know how to tell. I might just like gravitate towards shitty food in general because I have a terrible palate. I don't know. But I've never really been bothered by like eating kind of the same stuff a lot of the time. I just kind of feel like I mostly eat for nourishment. Sometimes I eat for pleasure when it's with another person. But I don't generally spend a lot of time thinking about food. Like today, I wanted to get a noodle bowl because I really wanted to eat a noodle bowl, and that was something that would make me feel happier. But I only get that kind of an urge about once a month or so, maybe even less. For the most part, other than that, it's just like, hey, what do I have that I can eat that's cheap to get and also doesn't take very long to make? And then that's like, it's kind of the end of cooking as an art form for me. I certainly respect people who care more about it than I do. I just don't know why I don't have very much passion for food. If you have a good sense of taste, you'll dislike a lot more than usual. Oh, okay. So then it's about, like, figuring out how to work through that, I guess. So, I'm not seeing any skulls, are you? Should I have not set up base right here? Oh good, a goblin army is approaching. I should probably fight that, just because I can drop the ability to fight more, is that right? Have you played Bloons Tower Defense 5? I have not. I don't even think I've seen a single skull yet. How do we know these aren't just expert mode enemies that are not showing up here? Or is it because of where I'm standing? Oh, and the noodle bowl was not necessarily about the noodles. It was more about the proteins in it too. They put on a freaking like poached egg on the top, which is freaking outstanding. I love eggs. This is why I stream with Northern Lion all the time. They put some teriyaki steak and shrimp and some leeks, and well, obviously the noodles are in there. There's some broccoli in there. What else? I think that's the majority of it. There might be a couple of other things, like other greens and such. I'm looking for the tiny cursed skulls, not the big ones. I think the Stardust Dragon is killing them before you see them. Oh. Alright, that's pretty reasonable to say, I guess. Alright, no more Stardust Dragon. Freaking love that place that I go to, though. Like, it's so good. It's kind of expensive, but like I don't go there hardly that often at all. So I figure it's like a nice treat. And I get a nice bubble tea with it too. The lady even remembers what kind of bubble tea I like. Although today I had a different one. I had coconut and tapioca. And she said that the coconut with the tapioca was like her favorite at the whole place. I tried it. I thought it was pretty good. I would see ordering it again, but I think I still like, I have a matcha green tea and mango boba is my favorite. It's so refreshing. It's like, it's thirst quenching even though you only have to drink a tiny bit, and it's also like a milk-based tea, which you wouldn't expect to be at all quenching, but it is somehow. It's refreshing too. It's like cools you down, makes you calm. I don't go there that often, but the lady remembers what I order. Yeah, well, unfortunately, I don't think that place gets a lot of business as much as I wish they would. What gear do you recommend for expert mode Eye of Cthulhu? I can't really remember at what point I was at. You probably want to ask Rye if Rye is still here. I'm pretty bad when it comes to remembering, like, what I had at what point in the progression scheme. What tea are you talking about? I was talking about bubble tea. That's the icy milk tea that they froth up and shake a lot, and then they put the floaters in it. They're usually tapioca, but sometimes they're not. Oh, there's the skulls. Alright, there's skulls now. I think you're already an expert by looking at the mithril detected nearby. Yeah, you're probably right. I probably went and just opened up the expert mode stuff. Or the hard mode stuff, rather. Well, I guess I've just traded locations. Now I'm in a slightly more pink area. Oh, right. Somebody had asked about what equipment to have at a certain point in the game. I figured you would remember better than I would. Favorite ice cream? Probably either coffee or mint chocolate chip. But I'm open to trying other ice cream flavors. Every now and then I find one that I would never expect that I'd like, and I just get into it. But I think consistently, like, over the course of my lifetime, I've liked coffee and mint chocolate chip the most. I don't know what's up with Breyers. They used to be like my favorite ice cream brand, but it doesn't taste as good anymore. And not only does it not taste as good, it's way more expensive and you get a much smaller portion in the container. And it just seems like you're immediately disappointed the second you buy this thing. It's like, well, I didn't get as much ice cream as I wanted. And not only that, but it doesn't taste that good. But Turkey Hill, on the other side, they actually have been giving abundant amounts of ice cream, and I think it actually tastes markedly better. The Breyers stuff has got this, like, it almost leaves like an aftertaste, like a kind of a greasy, creamy taste. I don't really know how to describe it, but it's like kind of unpleasant. Whereas Turkey Hill feels kind of crisp, and then once you swallow it, like, there's no more aftertaste like that. What do you guys think? Do you have a favorite ice cream brand if you're buying it, like, from the freezer aisle? You like Turkey Hill? And I think I pretty much like all the flavors of Turkey Hill that I've tried. Briar's is like kind of hit or miss. Why would a turkey on a hill make ice cream? Well, it's got nothing better to do, right? People go on and on about Ben & Jerry's, though, and I don't know that I really like them all that much. It's, like, kind of overpriced, and sometimes they just have too many chunks of things. I know that's maybe the point, but I like ice cream more than I like the things that are in the ice cream, for the most part. The one exception might be the Stephen Colbert's American Dream, which was actually, like, a really good ice cream. And I've tried a bunch of different types of Ben & Jerry's. I generally just don't get into them that much. Alright, so if you guys take away anything from this, maybe try Turkey Hill ice cream. What the hell's up with all these freaking circles? There's like 100 circles here. Yeah, Ben & Jerry's seems like it's all about we want to stuff it with as many non-ice cream chunks of things as possible. And if you're into that, then, you know, by all means, I'm not telling you not to be into it. But I'm not always into it, that's all. Häagen-Dazs has some good stuff, obviously. You know, you pay the premium for it. They have much higher density ice creams, lower air content. And they tend to come in smaller containers as a result, and, you know, for 3 times the price. But if you've ever had their pineapple... Is it coconut pineapple? That one is fantastic. I did a training program to be a camp counselor, and my group was a guy who flew over from Spain on an English program. Had some difficulty with English. We're helping him with some shit. On time, our trainers asked us questions, and they asked him what is his favorite flavor of ice cream. With a really excited look on his face, he says, "I like pita pizzas." Huh? Alright. Classic pita pizza ice cream. You bite the chunk should bite back, my man. Well, that's fair. If you want the chunk to bite back, that's on you. I'm not gonna judge. Everyone's got their own preferences. It's just I'm saying Ben & Jerry's not my favorite. But at least I can get why people would like Ben & Jerry's. With the Briar's, though, I just can't get into, like, the flavor of it anymore, which is sad because Briar's used to be my favorite. They've fallen, man. They fall from grace. Same with Entenmann's. I used to love Entenmann's, but now they give you these tiny little packages with barely anything inside, and it's, like, flattened out and kind of old tasting most of the time. It's just like, what are you guys doing? And it's fucking expensive. It's like $7 for a thing of Entenmann's. It could be like 6 donuts, or it could be, a pound cake for like $7 that you could eat in like 3 servings. Am I married? No, I'm not married. I used to be married. Not anymore. You ever had pita pizza ice cream? Briar's changed their recipe, they aren't technically ice cream anymore. So you mean when they started putting all the all-natural crap all over their labels, they were actually covering up the fact that they were less natural than they were in the past? Because what they're serving doesn't taste very much like ice cream. I'm 27, can't talk to girls, help? You're fine. I think every time somebody says that, you just gotta meet the right girl to talk to, and then things just happen automatically. That whole thing about, like, you should go places and just talk to random girls, like, maybe if you're into that kind of thing, but not everybody is. I'm not. Meet a nice girl that has the same interests as you, and you'll be fine. Yes, Santos, I was married for about 5 years. It's okay. I'm used to it. We've had this talk so many times, it's fine. Well, maybe not so many times, but like probably about 5 times. And you know what? It's good that people don't know that, because it means new people are finding my channel. So I shouldn't ever be upset. No problem. I'm happy to help if I can. I don't know if I'm the best person to ask for advice for talking to girls, though, but yeah, if that helps any, then by all means. You must have been like 12 when you got married? No, I was not 12. I'm actually 30 right now. And I was, what was it? I was 23 when I got married. Had to run the math again because I can't remember what years anything ever happens on. If we're playing Rockleesmile, bingo, column 4, row 3 is Nick's ex-wife. What are we farming here? We're farming for the Nazar from the tiny skulls that are not popping up nearly as much as I'd like. Yeah, I know, people say that a lot. I should be, honestly, saying thank you for the compliment, because I guess I look fairly young. Nick, you're old as hell. Oh, okay. I feel it sometimes. It's weird, actually, having a group of friends that are mostly in their mid-20s. I mean, if you think about what that would have meant when you were in high school, if you were friends with people that were 5 years younger than you, potentially, it's like the difference between being in, like, 12th grade and, like, barely being in high school at all. I mean, you don't see that happen that much, but it's just, you know, once you're adults, that stuff doesn't matter. Or if you think about, like, the difference between dating someone if you're 30 and they're 20. It's funny how that works, too. As you get older, the space with which you can be separate seems to diminish more in public stigmatization. Is that the way you say that? Like, once you're 50, if you're dating someone who's 40, there's, like, almost no stigma there at all in the culture's view. And I honestly don't think it matters at all. If you're two consenting adults, it doesn't fucking matter how old you are. People have their own different maturity levels and rates that they age at that are separate physically and mentally. And I think we know that by now. But when you're 30 and you're dating someone who's 20, which I'm not, Lynn is not 20, but I believe there's a lot more stigma on that. Or if I was 28 dating a girl that was 18. It's just weird how that goes. It's like the older you get, the less age matters until you die, and then it matters a lot. My 20s were all well and good, but I found my 30s to be so much better. Well, that's good to hear. I've had a couple of people tell me that, actually, because I was a little bit down about ending my 20s so soon. I feel like I hardly did anything in them. I, like, was married and went to school and worked constantly, which, those are things, granted, but, like, I didn't do a lot of the, like, I'm young and excited things. I mostly just did the, like, I'm old and preparing for things. But, you know, we all have different paths through life, and I don't know why I need to constantly compare myself to others, but I think that's just the irrational nonsense that is social anxiety and mental anxiety of various types. Alright, let's not get weird in chat here. At 24, I started feeling old until I saw Facebook posts of all my high school classmates getting married and having kids and stuff. Yeah, I'm in the middle of that, too, still. I mean, I was one of the first, actually, to be married out of a lot of my high school group. But the kids thing is, yeah, that's one that I don't relate as much to. I mean, by all means, if you want to have kids, go right ahead. Who am I to tell you how to live your life? But that's, I think, not a thing that I'm necessarily signing up for. So, you know, it's weird to see that people are reaching that stage in their lives and they're all excitedly reproducing and such. More power to them, I guess. Just, it's a different... It's one of those realms that sort of separates you from people. Because if you're not someone with kids, it's a lot harder to relate to someone with kids. So to go from the position of like, oh, I knew you as a friend in high school, to you're now someone's dad, like, you know, that's a bit of a different feeling. Sister decided to get married and have a kid directly out of high school when I was 21. I felt old super quick. Yeah, and don't get the wrong idea. I'm not judging anybody for having done that or anything. You do what you want to do. It's just, you know, I think about it a different way than I think anybody else would perceive it. I feel like we're not getting much closer to solving our problem of farming up this item. Like, I don't really want to go back to my other map now. Kind of like how this area is nice and quiet and dark. But I really do need to kill skulls for this to even have a point. This is one hell of a grind. I agree. Yeah, meeting a person that's right for you is important, absolutely. And if you fall madly in love with someone and you know right then and there that that's the person you want to reproduce with, you want to have kids with, by all means, you have kids with that person, be happy. I was just saying it how it relates to, you know, the transition going from friends in high school and such to changing roles in life, you know? There's this boomerang statue up here. Maybe if I change location, I'll run into more skulls. No, now we're up in the tunnel getting back out. I have 3 Nazars, but no metal detector. I've run into so many metal detectors, though. Well, that sucks. And yeah, you know what? I've even done grinding off camera in the dungeon for like 45 minutes and not gotten one then either. Kind of incredible, actually. But I just need that one lucky skull. That's all it takes. %, drop rate, and hasn't been one skull. Alright, well, you know what, then? Let's go. We've gotten 2 ancient necro helmets, though, as if I needed those. And we got another Skeletron trophy and hand. Cool, I guess. I felt like that was a bit of a fool's errand, to be honest.